continue to talk about worship. We've been doing it on Sundays and talking about worship and then fellowship and ministry. And those are the things that are on my heart right now. And so, going back to worship again, what we like to do too often is put our lives in boxes, that we have everything in a box. And one of the worst boxes that we have probably in churches as a whole is that we have worship in the box, and the box we put worship in is called music. And we were saying that worship and music are synonymous, and nothing could be further from the truth. I'm not saying that you don't worship God when you sing. You do. You can worship Him in song. But to say that you worship God in music only is to say that worship is simply an emotional response. And worship is not just an emotional response. It is a heart response, yes, but it is an active response. It is a life-changing response. When I worship God, I acknowledge His greatness, His holiness, His goodness. It ought to affect a difference in my life. And so I want to encourage us as believers, as individuals, as churches, as our church at Liberty, that we would stop putting music on the pedestal that it's on sometimes and acting as if everything runs to music. Music has to be a servant to a church service. Music ought to be, number one, doctrinal, and it ought to be glorifying to God. If music is not doctrinally correct, I don't care how good the music sounds or whatever, if the words aren't right, then it's not going to help anybody. And then, if the music is taking us to a place in our heart and mind that is not Christ honoring, it's not going to help us as well. And so let me just go back to worship to wrap it up here. Worship is the response of an individual when they see God high and lifted up. And that is sometimes music, and that's wonderful. That may be a shout, that may be a praise. It always amazes me, though, that when we change keys, everybody shouts, or when we sing a high note, everybody shouts. And that tells me that's not really a worship response as much as it is a physical or an emotional response. And so let's keep music where it ought to be, as a servant to the church service, not the purpose of the church service. And let's definitely not say that our worship, we're only worshiping when we sing. Because I'm worshiping when I work with my hands. I'm worshiping God when I'm loving my children. I'm worshiping my God when I'm witnessing the gospel. My worship for God is a heart response when I act on my proper view of God, seeing Him high and lifted up. So I hope it's a thought that'll help you. God bless you, folks. We'll see you soon. Bye.